Hello random person, Sab Nino here, and today is my second attempt at a negative review. And I'm positive this time this will be better than Little Octi Lost. And that will be the worst season 11 episode of SpongeBob, Fun Size Friends. Okay, I know what you're thinking. But what about Ink Lemonade? Such a Squidward torture porn! I might talk about that in another review. Season 11 so far has been a pretty decent season. At best, it's been amazing. But at worst, it's been mediocre. So, I was surprised watching this episode for the first time. Let's get started, shall we? It starts off with some cartoony antics with SpongeBob and Patrick, involving baseball and pancakes. And man, do these backgrounds look gorgeous. The beginning started off fine, until they started hitting the pans. I usually don't mind SpongeBob and Patrick being annoying, but it should only really annoy the characters. But in this case, it's just mild frustration. Squidward comes in, telling them to go back to their homes, and they start crying because of it. Again, pretty annoying, but this time is not as long. SpongeBob has an idea of having miniature versions of themselves so they can never be separated again. I'd like to say that this is an adorable idea, and the idea starts pretty well, with a montage of what the characters do in a comedic yet charming way. But unfortunately, all good things must come to an end. SpongeBob and Lil Pat go to work at the Krusty Krab, while he's dressed up in a little sailor uniform. Please make this a plush toy! Before SpongeBob works, he gives Patrick a Krabby Patty, but it's not enough to fulfill his big appetite. So he tries to get a bigger one fresh off the grill. But SpongeBob doesn't give him one due to misunderstanding. You know how in a lot of Gary episodes, there's usually communication issues due to the characters not being able to speak? You can apply the same issues here. Minnie, Sponge, and Rick don't talk. So it's a little tricky for them to tell SpongeBob and Patrick what's wrong. But they do communicate the emotions well, which is a step up from the Gary episodes. It still just kind of makes me feel sad for the characters. Not to say the episode can't have conflict, just the less annoying one. Even though that part of the episode is annoying, I wonder how many times I'm going to say annoying in this video. Patrick's subplot is just frustrating. He makes food, and Minnie Bob's clearly hungry, but Patrick just eats the whole thing right in front of him. I thought we went past this in 9B. It's rather selfish here, and trust me, it gets worse later on. Afterwards, SpongeBob dresses up Mini Pat again. And his torment here is actually pretty funny. Why can't we get more of that? And then SpongeBob and Patrick say hello after a while. And it's understandably awkward, which takes the concept surprisingly realistic. If you had a miniature version of your friend, you'd probably treat it differently than you would the actual person. So it's very interesting for this episode to tackle that. It's evening time, and SpongeBob becomes an overprotective parent, putting Mini Pat in an aquarium, so he quote-unquote doesn't cause trouble. Okay, him being overprotective makes sense. It fits his character, considering all the creatures he had to mother through the course of the show. And as a matter of fact, it's good character development. But Patrick here is clearly trying to tell SpongeBob what's wrong, but he somehow doesn't understand. You can clearly hear his feelings through his little squeaks and noises. Shouldn't that be enough to get SpongeBob to go? Oh, if there's something wrong, you sound upset. But no, it gets worse with Patrick's subplot coming back. And he's trying to get Minnie Bob to help him open some peanut butter. But he's missing an arm. Pretty irresponsible of you, Patrick. So he tries finding his arm. And even when SpongeBob tells him he found his arm, he doesn't freaking listen. Are you serious? Even if he didn't tell Patrick, he should know what his best friend arm looks like. But no. Instead, Minnie Bob gets unwarranted torment, having him be squished into a clamp, and having a plastic arm get attached to him. Yep, they're going back to the torturing innocent beings from Pet Sitter Pat. Minnie Bob and Pat get revenge for their actions, which would be fine if it wasn't for two things. One, the torment goes way too far, and two, even though Patrick deserves it, SpongeBob does not. Even though he isn't Parent of the Year, he at least does a good effort to make sure Mini Pat is safe and loved. Not completely excusing the bad writing, but still. But do they learn their lesson? No, they just say this.
What are they doing, SpongeBob?
Just trying to live their lives, Patrick. Our world is just too big for them.
True. But come on, no apology, no talking things out, not even looking back at what you guys have done? Anyway, SpongeBob and Patrick find a solution to their problems by giving the mini buddies their own houses. Not completely fixing everything they went through, but at least the episode ends on a lighthearted note. And Mini Bob and Pat kidnap Squidward. I'm not frustrated or even laughing, it's just kinda there. That was Fun-Sized Friends, and yeah, this episode was bad. It was frustrating to watch, lacked comedy, and it felt like we were back in season 8. However, Mini Bob are pretty cute here, and sometimes, especially in the beginning, they do have some charming moments. So despite the fact this is a low point in the season, if this is really the worst the season got for us, it just proves how much the show has evolved from the Dark Age. Even though we occasionally get duds, they're just average episodes, the show still doesn't fail to amaze me. With such phenomenal episodes like Mimic Madness, Bulletin Board, Legend of Bikini Bottom, Bottled Burglar, Chatterbox Gary, and so on. Not only is the show still great, it can sometimes even rival the first 3 seasons. I am so grateful that we finally found a way to get out of the dark era of SpongeBob and have a second golden one. Alright, that sounded cheesy. I really didn't want to end this video on such a negative note, considering how it's much better than a lot of the other episodes I've seen. So if you enjoyed this review, feel free to give suggestions on other cartoon reviews, comic dubs, or maybe animation in general. Now for some plugs. Follow me on Instagram, DeviantArt, Twitter, and I am a part of quite a bit of Aminos, including my own Sab Nino Amino. Also check out my Redbubble account to get some merchandise of your favorite SabNino characters. And if you can't find a lot of my best animated work through the sea of content, go to SabNino.com to find it all there. You'll still be supporting the channel watching them on the website. Also please subscribe, ring the bell icon, like and share the video with your friends, and let's see if we can hit 1,000 subscribers. And if you don't know the drill by now, eat some mochi, watch cartoons, and drink some boba. Hasta la vista.